Third-person media effects theory. Definition: the third-person effects theory, proposed by William Phillips Davidson in 1983, explains how people tend to believe that media messages have a stronger influence on others than on themselves. In other words, individuals think they are less affected by media than other people are. This perception often leads to changes in behavior, attitudes, or even policies toward media content. How the third-person effects theory was developed. The third-person effects theory was proposed by William Phillips Davidson in 1983. Davidson was a communication scholar who published the theory in the journal Public Opinion Quarterly. Background of the theory. In the 1970s and 1980s, media researchers were trying to understand how mass media like television, radio, newspapers influence people. Why people often believe that others are more affected by advertisements, propaganda, or political messages than they are themselves. Davison's noted in public opinion surveys that most people said the media influences others but claimed it does not influence them personally. Davison's observations and idea. From these observations, Davison concluded that there is a psychological phenomenon he called the third-person effect. This means when people are exposed to media messages, they tend to believe that others are more influenced than they are. This conclusion was not random, it came from real-world surveys and behavioral patterns that repeatedly showed the same result. Two main components. Perceptual component. People perceive media messages as having greater effects on others than on themselves. Example, a person believes that violent movies make other people aggressive but not them. Behavioral component. Based on that perception, people may take actions such as supporting censorship, regulations, or media restrictions to protect others. Example, parents advocating for stricter videos game controls, thinking those games affect other children's, not their own. Examples, political advertising. Voters might believe political ads will manipulate others' voters but not influence their own opinions. Social media misinformation. A user thinks fake news spreads because other people believes it, not them. Violent or sexual media content. People may support bans on explicit content, assuming it harms society's morals, though they personally feel unaffected. Criticism. Some argue that people may underestimate how media influences them, creating a blind spot about their own biases. Others suggest a first-person effect can occur when people believe the media positively influences them more than others, for example, educational campaigns. Summary of the discovery. So, Davison did not invent the theory randomly, he derived it from real observations and data showing that people underestimate the influence of media on themselves and overestimate its influence on others. Since 1983, the third-person effect theory has become one of the most influential concepts in media and communication studies.